So ever since I've been starting this journey of training smarter as a mixed martial artist, I personally struggle with this battle between training smarter and getting the most of my workout, but also understanding that it is combat sports, you feel me? And like, this isn't a place to be soft. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't crocheting, this isn't knitting or something. It's inevitable that when you're doing combat sports, like, you are going to be taking some damage, right? Like, injuries do happen and this and that. This is where I'm going to go into today on not being someone's punching bag when you're first starting off. And this is something that, like, especially like more experienced people who train like really do get later. Like, I do start to see that. But when you're first starting off, man, and you're like acquiring all your skills and stuff like that, like, this is specifically just my rant and my opinions, but yeah, it's not good to be taking all this unnecessary damage. It's not good to be taking unnecessary hits to the head or all these before you even acquire some skills. And I say that because I feel like I did take a lot of unnecessary damage during like the really early stages of me training. It's one of those like would've could've things, right? Because I feel like, it goes back to like, would you know if a stove was hot if you hadn't touched one in the first place and burnt yourself a bit? So had I had gone through some of these experiences, maybe I wouldn't be looking at training, the approach of it, like the way I am now. But this is why, it's one of those reasons why I'm sitting here talking to y'all about this. Like, rule number 2 is protect your training partners, but a lot of us be forgetting rule number 1, man. Rule number 1 is protect yourself at all times. And that is even when you're in a good gym, bro. Like, even when you're in a great gym, rule number 1 is everybody should be protecting themselves at all times. And that is something that is like so engraved in my head now, bro, because back then, man, like, yeah, I probably could have tried doing that a bit better to myself. You feel me? Like, I probably could have been a little nicer to my body when it comes to protecting yourself at all times. I'm just as guilty of that. Again, man, like, I'm really out here now, like, before I train, before I go hop into a sparring session, or before I even drill or something, man, like, that is the one thing that is always on my mind, bro. Gotta protect yourself at all times. And then protect your training partners. Because your training partners are important as well. You feel me? Like, having great training partners is so hard to come by, dude. Like, having great training partners who like can match your intensity, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like, you both can like get something out of, like, bro, treat those training partners like gold. Again, this is my opinions, right? But I feel like when you first join a gym, that gym should have your best intentions. And it sucks to say, but I've heard of stories of gyms where, bro, they just let people tee off on the new guy, Again, and that comes with taking unnecessary damage. Like, if you're the new guy and you're very inexperienced and you're up against people that have been in this shit for years, bro, like, yeah, bro, you're just basically being thrown in with the sharks. You're basically just someone's punching bag at that point. And don't be someone's punching bag. Like, even me, bro, like, there's times when I put my ego to the side. And I've just told people, like, if I'm not feeling it that day, man, if I'm getting hit with a couple hard shots, bro, like, I'll just be like, hey, lay off. Can you lay off? Hey, man, can we just go a bit lighter? Like, keep it playful, bro. Like, don't let your ego be the end of you, bro. Like, you want to be the tough guy. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, it goes back to being like, man, you want to be the tough guy that just takes all these unnecessary shots, bro? Be my guest. And again, man, like, this is where I teeter-totter between this, right? Because I'm not trying to say be a softie at the same time. And this is going to be another vid topic, but I think there's some people nowadays that are just too soft about it, Because again, bro, like, we are talking about combat sports here. I'm talking about taking unnecessary damage right now, right? Like, let's say, like, you get to a certain level and now you're hard sparring with somebody to like a similar level, or you're being outstriked a little bit. Like, you're being a little bit outclassed. Like, that type of stuff, like that, I can kind of see that being like, okay, bro, you're still getting a lot out of that. But it's taking unnecessary damage is basically like taking damage during a training session and not getting shit out of it, bro. Like, if you took some damage but you got stuff out of it, you know, it's kind of like it is what it is, because that's combat sports, right? I want to still keep my brain intact. You know what I mean? I want to still keep my brain intact when I'm 40, 50. Like, life is long. Life is long, and I disagree with some people, man. Like, I know people that hard spar way more than I do. I know people that spar way more than I do, man. And you know what? They might be at a better level than I am just because they're more exposed to that volume. Like, okay, cool. You know? So be it, bro. But, like, it's, again, man, like, I try to limit how much I hard spar. I try to tell people, like, I try to just remind people, too. Hey, man, like, let's go lighter on the head. We'll go harder on the body, you know? It's a great reminder, man. Lighter on the head, harder on the body. And sometimes it is inevitable, bro. Sometimes, you know, you do gotta just get it in sometimes. You feel me? Like, at the end of the day, like, you know, we are learning how to fight here, but again, I think in a lot of senses it can be avoidable. Like on a day-to-day type of training thing, I think a lot of that can be avoidable. I hope that at least somebody gets something out of this. It's hard to as well, man. It's hard when you're like the new person, and I get it, man. Like, you're the new person and you're just trying to like get along. Like, that was me, bro. I was the new person. I was just trying to get along with people. Like, I just wanted to like basically just fit in the gym, you know. But there's times when, yeah, I probably could have been like, hey, man, like, can we just go light? Could we just go light? I'm still learning. Can we just please go light? And again, it's not like these people's fault. I'm going to go back to it. Nobody's fault besides myself, because the number one rule is protect yourself at all times. You feel me? So I hope you guys got something out of this, man. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next vid.